Islam, you better set the tone of this fight. You cannot sit back and wait for Jack Della Maddalena to determine where and how the fight takes place. You got to push him against the octagon side and get him on his back foot.
In terms of skill set, where would you rank Jack Della Maddalena in the opponents that you faced?
Oh, like top 3. He's one of the best who I fight ever. Because he's a champion. Like UFC champion, it's mean you are like high-level fighter.
UFC 322 is only hours away, and UFC great Daniel Cormier has given some final last-second guidance to Islam Makhachev that could help him control JDM this Saturday night. Cormier says Islam needs to take charge right from the opening bell at UFC 322. He stressed that Islam can't let JDM choose where the fight goes or how it happens. Instead, Islam should drive him toward the fence and keep him moving backward. Cormier explains that forcing Jack into that spot will open chances for takedowns, give Islam cleaner striking moments, and gradually break down Jack's confidence. JDM comes into this after his win over Belal Muhammad.
Islam, you better set the tone of this fight. You cannot sit back and wait for Jack Della Maddalena to determine where and how the fight takes place. You got to push him against the octagon side and get him on his back foot. If you can get him on his back foot, it will open up takedowns, but it will also open up your striking and chip away at the confidence that Jack is carrying into this fight after the Belal Muhammad fight.
Daniel Cormier also feels this bout is Islam Makhachev's toughest test so far. He points to JDM's size, his wrestling ability, and his sharp boxing as serious dangers, and adds that Jack's growing belief in himself makes him even more risky. Cormier thinks JDM is ready to challenge Islam and wants to show he truly belongs with the very best fighters in the sport.
This is the hardest fight of his life. That's what he said. Like, hands down. This guy's big. He's a natural welterweight. He can wrestle. He's improved. His boxing is next level boxing. He's good. He's very, very good. There's been some tough fights in Islam's career, but I don't think he's ever fought anyone like this kid. Jack Della Maddalena is the real deal, man. He is, and the more he wins, the more confident he gets, right? So it becomes harder and harder to beat him. And I think that fight that he had last time with Belal gives him more confidence that he can go out there and fight a guy like Islam. So yeah, it's not about if I have anything positive to say about Jack. There's a lot positive to say about Jack. He's a world champion for a reason, and he's one of the best fighters in the world.
John and Nick also look ahead to the main event between JDM and Islam, noting that Jack is making his first welterweight title defense and might be facing his hardest opponent yet. They say Jack comes in as a tricky underdog, even though he would likely be the betting favorite against most other welterweights because of how well he did against Belal Muhammad. Nate also wonders how Islam will handle the extra weight and perform at 170 pounds, while adding that Habib and his team have prepared him the right way.
For Jack Della Maddalena, because he's making his first welterweight title defense here, and he acknowledged Islam Makhachev as the toughest foe he possibly could have faced, and he's a pretty big underdog this weekend, and I think it stands to reason, based upon the way he performed against Belal Muhammad, if he was fighting anybody else at 70, he'd probably be the betting favorite to defend his title. It's fascinating to see Islam move up, to see how he carries the weight, to see how he performs at the weight, but I think Habib and his camp has done everything in their power to put their athlete in a position to succeed. I think the betting line's way wider than it should be, but I do believe Islam, based upon his body of work, deserves the distinction as the favorite.
On the other side, Islam Makhachev stays completely locked in before UFC 322. He says he doesn't care about anyone else's record and is focused only on JDM's belt. After defending his lightweight title many times and fighting on big stages, Islam believes this is the perfect moment to chase a second championship, and he feels he has earned that shot.
I don't think about Anderson Silva record. I just think about Jack Maddalena belt, and that's it. I just want to take this belt. I told like many times about the second belt. I did my job in lightweight, like defend more than everybody, and fight in the big events, but now it's the good time to move, and I know I am deserve to fight for the.
Meanwhile, Islam Makhachev is not bothered by Craig Jones helping JDM. Islam says wrestling isn't something you fix in a few months, and Jack still hasn't to level up on his own. He points to examples like Khamzat Chimaev and Dricus du Plessis, saying that even with top wrestlers brought in, it didn't change much. Islam's message is clear. Real wrestling strength comes from years and years of hard work.
Craig Jones, who's helping Jack with his wrestling and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, says that he's
I don't
fixed.
think you help him with the
Yeah.
wrestling.
What do you think
He
of
have
Craig?
to help himself to wrestling. I just tell in the other interview, it's not working like this. You bring someone for a couple months and you become like good, And we have good example, Chimaev and du Plessis. Du Plessis bring a lot of wrestling guys, but nothing, It's things which one you have to do many years.
Is the only way you get better at wrestling going to Dagestan 2-3 years? Forget.
Yeah. If somebody want to prove 2-3 years.
Kamaru Usman also talks about JDM training with Craig Jones and Alexander Volkanovski before facing Islam. He says even when Dricus du Plessis trained with several wrestlers before meeting Khamzat Chimaev, the real truth only showed up once the cage door closed. Usman explains that no matter how strong the training looks, the fight itself is what decides everything.
When you see Alex Volkanovski, Craig Jones sitting in that room with him at Scrappy MMA in Perth, how much of an impact do you think those guys are having in the lead up and preparation for Islam?
I mean, it is what it is. You can't really tell. You can't really say that because look at someone like DDP. You saw when he was preparing for Khamzat Chimaev and he had 3 guys, I believe, wrestling him and trying to get him down. And he was kind of having his way with those 3 guys. That doesn't really tell the story. You don't know until you get into that fight and things start to play out. So who knows?
Islam Makhachev admits he expects a very hard fight with JDM, even though he hopes things go smoothly. He says Jack is skilled everywhere, and unlike many pure strikers, Jack is comfortable on the ground too. Islam is preparing for every possible situation because he knows this won't be easy. When Daniel Cormier asked if Jack looks bigger in person, Islam answered that Jack is about the same height, but might be a little bit heavier inside the cage. As Islam said, he hopes it feels easy, but he doesn't believe it will be. He's watched many of Jack's fights and sees that Jack is well-rounded. Islam repeats that some strikers panic when taken down, but Jack stays calm and knows what to do. Islam says Jack didn't look much bigger when they faced off, yet inside the cage he might be a couple of kg heavier than him. However, JDM believes he will meet the strongest version of Islam at UFC 322. He thinks Islam will be healthier and more complete without cutting down as much weight, and says this could be the toughest Makhachev he has ever seen. Jack also says he doesn't expect any major size edge in this matchup.
I think it would be the best Makhachev, I believe. I think him not cutting the weight, I think he'll be a more filled-out version of himself. He wouldn't have left so much in the weight cut. I think this is going to be the toughest Makhachev. So I don't expect to have a big weight advantage.
JDM repeats that he doesn't think he will be bigger than Islam Makhachev. He expects Islam to arrive as a strong, fully fit welterweight and feels Islam will look and feel better without the stress of a heavy weight cut. Jack says he is getting ready for the most dangerous and most complete version of Makhachev yet.
Well, even just the body transformation for him, right? I mean, were you curious? Was there anything in particular that you were looking for? Where is he at in this? Or does he look comfortable in the weight? Does he look as fast as the weight? Do you break him down to that kind
Not
of
really.
level?
We've sort of this whole camp, since knowing Makhachev was going to come up, we believed he's going to be a big, strong welterweight. I don't believe I'm going to have a big weight advantage, to be honest. I think he's just going to be more filled out, probably more healthy. He probably thinks he's in the best he's ever felt, I would imagine.
Yeah.
So I expect toughest Makhachev.
Usman Nurmagomedov also speaks about Islam moving up in weight, calling it a huge moment for their whole team. He says he can't imagine taking a risk that big, but he trusts Islam is ready. Usman predicts Islam could become a double champion, inshallah. He adds that he has learned a lot by just watching Islam's smart sparring and grappling, and those lessons help shape how he fights in the cage.
This is big moment for our team. This is, like I can't even imagine for he will move up and he will take this chance. But I think like I did this inspiring last time, and brother, he's ready to go, and of course we and whole team, we support him and we believe in he's gonna be double champion, inshallah. I learned from him a lot, all like some smart things what I'm doing in the cage. I learn from him even when I just watching how he doing sparring, how he grappling. Sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I try to watch how he doing
Drop your thoughts below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss the next video.